Hello, everyone. So this is Children of the Tentacle, and speaking to you is Count Zero. Just a quick few words introducing a short review on Shadow Worlds 2020, a superb tournament organized by the lovely people in Knowledge is Power. And I just wanted to say a few words because absolutely amazed by the the level of the playing field, by the amount of great people we had a chance to play. Highly competitive, and obviously, we're making a fine exit as the Children of the Tentacle team, losing all of our games. Pretty much, we had a victory here and there, but as you know, it is a team tournament, and never our team was able to deliver and win a round by having two of our teammates win their challenges. So we're basically now sitting out and relaxing like the cool cats we are. But to me, what was keen to do is to go over the top cut that came out from last weekend and what actually was successful, because I'm always keen to understand why I failed and what I needed in my decks to be the right one. So thanks to the data provided by Knowledge is Power, and once again, thank you for them very much. It was super helpful. I've been able to build a little bit of infographics, some analysis, and try to understand what make these decks prevail. And I think this is our most acute view of the competitive meta as it is, and I'm really keen to share that with you. So first of all, as you know, it's a team event, one player playing adaptative, one player playing Archon solo, and another player playing Triad. Um, because we have 16 teams in the top cut, and that brings basically 80 decks. And I wanted to see the breakdown in SARS. And basically, a, a delta of 30 from 57 to 87, but you can really see that most of the decks are located in this sweet high 70, low 80, which is pretty much bigger than any deck I personally own. I think my highest SAS deck is like 75, so definitely interesting. And you can really see like the lighter colors corresponding to the adaptative, where uh, players have less anxiety faring into lower SAS decks, because this is probably where you find the nicest, I would say, quote unquote, badly rated combos, the Martian generosity of this word, and this type of things. And also because as you need to hand it out to your opponent, um, obviously you will have to deal with the low SAS as well. But definitely interesting, and you can see probably a little bit harder to see, but really it is Archon Solo that had some of the highest type decks. But overall, a playing field that was completely crazy for a regular player like myself, somebody that doesn't buy auction decks and so on. I can't find in the box something really able to compete here, or just also I have to admit, I cannot train as much as some of these guys do, or cannot match their skills. That's probably the second lesson here. Looking quickly at the actual average SAS value, you can really see what we just discussed. So Archon Adaptative with an average of 74 in SAS is definitely lower than Archon Solo, where we went on an average of 80. This is completely crazy. And Triad very close to it, and the overall average obviously pushed by Triad in the very high side. On the other hand, in terms of breakdown of sets, and I think this is particularly interesting, Archon Adaptative was over half of it was Age of Ascension. And this is quite crazy if you think about it. But probably the set that requires that found a little bit the perfect balance in people having played it a lot, and to having decks that require actually a lot of skills. And I think this is the perfect combination for adaptative, because you're throwing into the hands of your opponent a deck that is A, complex, two, not the fastest, not the easiest to manipulate, and probably where you will have a hard time really understanding how to bid for chains there. So quite logical, and also quite a bit of words collide. On the other hand, obviously, Call of the Archon, most of the decks I would say are pretty straightforward, and it's probably why they were not preferred. On the other hand, for Archon solo, I mean, almost two-thirds was Call of the Archons, completely crazy. And this is, once again, remind you, these are the 80 decks that made today too. So these are the ones that were successful. Archon solo, 63% quota. Really, really interesting to see that. And on Triad, the balance is actually pretty interesting and absolutely fascinating that on all of them, we actually still have a decent number of Age of Ascension. But for Triad, yes, having a fairly good mix, two-fifths on Kota, two-fifths on Worlds Collide, and one-fifth on Age of Ascension shows you that you're going to see sets of decks to select from where you need to ban one that would be very difficult to analyze, very, very, very difficult to go through. In terms of house breakdown, and this is no surprise. So I've put a little color coding here because you have to realize Star Alliance and Saurian have only been here for one set, and Mars and Sanctum have only been there for two sets. But Logos is a massive winner. This is where the money is, people tell you, and a combination of Logos, decent shadows, absolutely crazy, completely dominating the field. Untamed probably selected for its Ember Burst abilities, and basically you play Untamed, and in one round you go to check very, very easily. Then again, only for having one set there, we have a lot of Silence and a lot of Saurians. They bring a lot of tools, and we'll see it later, that are very interesting. Brobnar, often there, and we'll see why, but probably because there are some tools in Brobnar that are useful. And mind you, there was a lot of IOA, and Brobnar in AOA was absolutely stunning. I mean, you have some good Brobnar decks in Worlds Collide, I'm sure. I haven't seen them, but I'm sure. You have some amazing Brobnar in Call of the Archons, but this is really in AOA that they're shown, and there was a lot of AOA, so it's completely normal that they're here. The ones that fell left out, obviously Mars and Sanctum, right at the bottom. Sanctum, somehow their ability to bring big bodies and to deal with large boards has not been valued. I think in a lot of cases because Sanctum in AOA was not that amazing, and if you take AOA, it's probably to get Brobnar, probably to get Mars, probably to get Logos or this. And in Kota, I would probably assume that there's too much removal for them to be that impactful. They bring, in my experience, a lot of anti synergy, unfortunately.